Hi, I'm Robert, and you're listening to the DigiDAD podcast. In this series, young men from Northeast Young Dads and Lads will be exploring their journeys through fatherhood and interviewing other dads about their experiences. No one story is the same, so sit back, get comfy, and enjoy these stories from our DigiDAD community. Yes, Gary, active Tees Valley director and a full-time dad, looking to give some insight on the transition from when he became a young father, dad to be up until this point in time in his life. Gary, can you tell us about the time you were a young dad and how it felt?
Yeah, at the early age, I become a young dad. I think I was at the age of 20. Quite naive I was at that time, knocking about in kind of local parks and probably didn't know where I was going in life. Picking up, I was at college, probably struggling to hold jobs down. And then, yeah, my baby girl come along. And probably looking back now, I can imagine why Chloe's mum probably didn't like me. I was a bit of a div, to be fair, if I'm being honest. Not being there, still be wanting to run the lads. So it was a massive culture shock to me. And I didn't really understand the role. And it was down to the support that I got off probably my mum, Chloe's mum being a really good man. That kind of, looking back at Chloe today is a credit.
So how did you manage the sort of the jump from being a young father to becoming a much older father? Not much older, sorry, but you know what I mean. What are the biggest differences you felt from then to now?
I think looking back again is probably being influenced by the right people. I look back at my home life, which was, again, I was brought up by my mum. My dad left, so that was quite challenging. My mum looked out for me and kind of put a roof over my head. Did my mum kind of mentor me? I would probably guess not, because she was out holding 3 jobs down. But then it was the local kind of community centres, older peers who kind of used to say, Gary, where do you want to be? And then trying to utilise what my passion was. Sport was my passion. Is then surrounding myself with people by there and getting educated and directed in the right way by positive outcomes and saying, do you really need to do this? And then watching Chloe grow over, and then suddenly you think, don't get me wrong, I love babies, but then they become toddlers, and then they become, they get their own personalities, and you start thinking, I want to improve this, I want to build this relationship. So I think that's the overall, is surrounding myself with good people. And people being a critical friend as well, saying, Gary, that's not right, because you know better than probably I do, is when you've got your pals there, your mates down the boozer, they'll tell you what you want to hear. But then surround yourself with people who say, no, that's not, have you looked at it? Do you look at things differently? What about doing this way? And having them supportive people there as well as having a critical friend, I think that's really important.
Yeah, so certainly as time passes, you can definitely see that your mindset changes when something as life-changing as that can come into your life. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And you do start to mature, don't you? You sort of,
like, yeah, you do.
And that's it. Is you're going into the big wild world where you've got to hold jobs down. The financial stuff of your support from your mum kind of moves away, and then and I think it's a bit of a wake-up call, and I think that allows you to kind of think, where am I going next? Do you want to be a good role model as a parent as well? That was something I look back on and just went, if that was my daughter looking up to me now, is what would she see? And she probably wouldn't, what she did see at that time when she first come around, is she probably wouldn't have liked it. And when I look back, I didn't like it. So then it's about kind of having the power to change, isn't it? And looking at things differently.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Thank you. Finally, did becoming a young father influence your career to now work within your charity, Active Tees Valley?
Massively. Looking back now, I'm an East Middlesbrough lad, and East Middlesbrough is one of the most challenging areas, not just in Middlesbrough, but right across the UK, with levels of deprivation, poverty, high pregnancy, people with young ages, and I was in that bracket. So when I looked like that, I just thought, got a bit of direction, and thought I wanted to make a change, and I also wanted to give back on the community centres, which allowed me to give me some guidance. So from that, what I want to do is go, right, I had that opportunity 15 years ago. And so what I want to do is give back to the community that so they've got our youth of today, people in a similar position have got the opportunity to speak to people. And there's a lot of people out there who don't give a lot of people, young parents, young dads, the opportunity. And it's a challenging time. It's stressful. You were the one who's going out thinking, where am I getting my next wage packet from my young family? A lot of families break up. Like me and Chloe's mum, we broke up. So then what happens, and where do we turn to? Where's the guidance around that? So the work that has come from me having that experience has kind of driven me to set up my own company, because I've been down that road and got things right and got things wrong. It hasn't been plain sailing, believe you me. I've got loads of things wrong, but I've got more things right than I have wrong. And the good thing is we've also got a social club where I can go and sit and talk to the lads who are in a similar situation. So you get, we're not getting this information from the statistics. And we have a good art of art. And if I can give any encouragement or advice, I do.
And that's probably the best times and experience you can get if you have those heart to hearts with people who are sort of in that similar position to you or around that area. And for personal experience as well, that's been a great help for me when I've been talking to others, especially within this charity, So no, that's exactly it. It's spot on with everything. But on top of that, I mean, based on those three questions alone, what kind of advice would you give to the likes of me or any younger fathers or dads to be, on top of the hardship and the sudden life changes that they're going to be having? What kind of advice would you give to start off?
First of all, you make me feel very, very old saying that you are young fathers. So first of all, I'd look back at my daughter now, who's 20-year-old, and we are key influences in their lives. And you want them to look up, because they do look up to us along with the mums. And it's all about the setting, isn't it? Giving them a positive setting, regardless if you've got funds or you've got cash available, to kind of give them love, of care, affection. That's always there. One thing I did learn is I come to loggerheads all the time with a mum. And if I could look back, I'd just go, how could I have made that better? Because regardless of how much cash you've got in the bank, to create that working relationship, that you can do that for free. And giving a stable foundation for your child it's what they need. And then everything just comes after that. Surround yourself with good people. Have a critical friend. I've got loads of friends, but I want the ones who say, Gary, that's not right. That could be your mum. It could be your aunt. It doesn't have to be your friend. It could be someone that you can go to and just sound off, get it off your chest. Because as a father, you carry a lot of pressure, don't you?
Yeah.
So you're just thinking, where do I go next? And that's, look, I'm not the perfect dad, far from it, if I'm being honest. And I look back at my past but what I'm trying to do is every day is improve and make them, what can I do now to have my daughter looking up? And share best practice, share what works, share what doesn't.
A lot of circumstances for people are different, but the fundamental advice, if you get that chance to talk to others, it definitely helps. So yeah, I really appreciate that. It's wonderful. So thank you.
Oh, thanks for that. It's got me reflecting, really. It feels like I need to phone my daughter.
Thanks for listening to this podcast. Make sure to check our DigiDAD page at www.digidad.uk, where you can see, hear, interact and chat with loads of other young dads and get all the dad-friendly content you need. See you there. This podcast was produced by North East Young Dads and Lads and was made possible by funding from Esmee Fairbairn and the Lloyds Bank Foundation.